here on my end. Alright, Angelica, Finn, Miss Beck, trying to be bad. Okay. Two people? Cool, cool. Alright. See what we got here. Omar, Vicky, Frankie. Gio, Kelly, Tony Walker. Okay. Talking about homeless people having the right to vote. No, I can do this. I got a wife D. Love that. Grumpy, right on. Parker really hit it tonight. His views even went down. It's Monday. I voted for Claudia De La Cruz. Vote your values, though. I'm not shitting on anybody who voted Jill Stein. Jill Stein is not in line with my values, so I voted Claudia De La Cruz because I want straight up socialism. Hello, Autumn. Hello, John Eastwood. Welcome back, Stacy. Claudia too. Hell yeah. Hello, Steve. Hello, Van. Hello, Nope. Hello, Quality. I voted for Brett Patterson. I don't know who that is, but good for you. Hello, Older Eagle. Hello, it's Malik. Hello, Rob. Hello, Jenny. Y'all vote for whoever you want to vote for. This isn't about who we're voting for. And I feel like we can't even, it's gotten to the point on the internet where we can't really have a conversation about voting without people talking about like political, like their political affiliations. This is just about voting. Do you think they should be allowed to vote? Huh, wonder what that means. Let's find out. Come on up. The best choice. I don't know who Claudia De La Cruz is. Oh. Hello. Oh, let's give you a second to load. Alright, hello. Hello? Can you hear me? Hello? Well, I guess we're just hanging out. But yeah, you're on the. Can you hear me? Okay, now you're muted. This is interesting. Hello, Pony Boy. Hello, it's Josh. Hello, Gary. Hello, Fresh. You asked a question on if they should be allowed to vote, and I invited you up, and you came up. So, can you hear me? Hello, Chief. Hello. Can you hear? Can you hear me out? No, I can't hear you. I hear clicking, but I don't hear you. Hello, Chief. Hello, Dumblebee. Water damaged. Oh, okay. Well, you're here. So I am interested in oh, we have somebody. Hi. Hello.
There you go. How you doing?
I'm doing quite well. How about yourself?
Doing well. What's up?
The topic.
Homeless people can vote. There's no limit to how many registered voters can be at an address. You can register to vote at a friend or family address or a shelter or daycare center receives mail. Host pronouns. Okay. Hey, him.
Yes.
And I'm 67.
Oh, right on. Nice to meet you.
Hey.
So,
Good to meet
so
you.
what would you like to? Yeah. What would you like to say about the topic?
Uh, I don't understand how. I guess you say that. So if they're using like a homeless shelter just for the address, not necessarily because they're there, they can receive mail there.
So some shelters, not all shelters, but some shelters do receive mail for clients, and you can register to vote at those shelters. Yes.
Yeah. I haven't volunteered because I don't get around real well now. I'm a disabled veteran. I don't get
Okay.
around as well as I used to, and so I didn't volunteer for like canvassing or anything like that. So kind of hard, like I said, kind of hard to get around. But
For sure.
they should certainly, if they can. I don't know. Do they have to have some sort of identification? I mean, that kind of goes against some places. I guess if they're on the voter roll, like in
Yeah.
Maryland where I'm at, if you're on the roll, you don't need an ID.
Right. And you don't need an ID in Minnesota where I am either.
Yeah,
Some states they do require ID, and like there's also, I mean, some unhoused people don't have IDs for whatever reason, but some of us do. So, I mean, it's an issue for people who don't have an ID, whether they're housed or unhoused. That's kind
yeah.
of a different issue.
Well,
But
exactly. Yeah, that's
but
what I'm
like if you
wondering.
have an ID, yeah, if you have an ID, like you and you're registered to vote, you
Yeah,
vote.
yeah. I'm just. It's. It should be a federal law. I think. I think everybody should have to, just as a matter of principle, identify yourself as to you're the person that's going to be, given this vote and lawfully on some role that can be looked up and verified according to your ID. I don't, I mean, that's a minimum. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. That's not trying to get in the way of people voting. That's just making sure legal, when I say legal,
Well,
people that are entitled to vote can vote.
Well, voting is a right and not a privilege, and yet access to the proper paperwork to be able to get an ID seems to be a privilege, especially as this real ID thing spreads and
Yeah.
the cost of IDs are going up and the requirements for IDs are going up. It was way easier to get an ID 10 years ago, right? We both know that.
I used to
So,
work on the
as
councils that came up with real ID
Oh, cool.
years
So,
ago.
because Real ID is presenting a whole nother set of issues, it does present more barriers for people to be able to get an ID in those states that require you have an ID to vote. So I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that.
Yeah, I guess I could understand because, like I say, that's why I think it needs to be a federal. It should be a federal law. That way, it's not up for question depending on which line you're standing on or over. And that's a bit of a problem because there are states that will set up laws to become an obstacle to people voting.
Right. If getting an ID were easier and it was more of a right than a privilege, I would agree with you. That if we got rid of these barriers,
Yeah.
then yeah, I wouldn't have any kind of disagreement with what you were saying.
Yeah.
But since the price of an ID and the requirement for these IDs, especially as real ID, becomes more of a mandatory thing, I we're gonna have to disagree on that one.
Yeah, it's a standard, is what it is. I mean, that's
Yeah, it's becoming the standard. Yeah.
yeah. Early back in the days when we were trying to come up with a standard card, that a government card for people to be able to travel and do different things and definitively identify them. So this was something that came out, in the 5 years after 9/11 was when we started, working things like that, maybe even less than that.
Yeah.
And we started working on those types of problems and come up with solutions. Real ID, like I say, gosh, I'm 60. I'll be 68 in another month. I had to go out of the workforce at 55. My second career after the military was in electronic security, and that's how I got into working with the ID cards and such. But it's very interesting stuff, and that now I've been seeing it used, at the airport, like the real ID for being able to get through and not have to do all the security things, and because you're already kind of verified as to who you are.
Yeah.
So, yep, I get it, but I can see where it would be an obstacle for people too. But it shouldn't be an obstacle if you have a legal right to vote in the country.
It shouldn't be an obstacle, but it is because capitalism makes sure it continues to price people out of being able to even engage in what is supposed to be our rights.
Well, my daughter lives out west. I'm just going to say out west. I don't want to go too far and
Of course.
identify, but she has been trying to get a driver's license out there. Her driver's license is currently where she came from in Maryland, and she's trying to get one. She's been out there for a few years now. She's trying to get her license there locally. So she gave him the birth certificate and some other paperwork that accompanied it. She was born in Guam. Now, if you know anything about Guam, it's one of our 6 territories, which includes the District of Columbia, Guam, Commonwealth of
Samoa.
Mariana. It's a U.S. territory. That's where
Yes.
America's Day begins. So if you're born in Guam, you're a U.S. citizen just like you're born anywhere else. And she was born at the Naval Hospital. So she had her birth certificate from the Naval Hospital, Guam, and the
Yeah.
date she was born. She's got a U.S. passport, and she still couldn't get her driver's license until she had the. It's something else, but she's been trying to get it for how long? They wouldn't accept what she had now, her Maryland driver's license or her the Guam birth certificate. They wouldn't accept it.
And I find that very strange because if you're already verified in another state, therefore, and the driving laws aren't different from state to state. So it's just, it really does turn into a matter of just like, so there's a lot of issues, right? A lot of the federal technology for like citizen facing people like the DMV and stuff like that technology itself is behind, right?
Yeah.
And then we're throwing a whole bunch of other things at it, like real ID and having to require all these other verifications and stuff. While, especially in this situation, where this person is verified as with all these other things in this other state, and they're just trying to get it transferred over. It's like there is no good reason for this
Well, that's where
holdup.
we tried to have the chip that would take care of basically everything. It would have a biometric for identification. It would have a facial rec, maybe fingerprints.
But
So,
you don't need that.
well, but I'm saying that it was designed to have different biometric ways of identification on the real ID originally, along with your picture, what have you. To make it a secure card. That was the whole idea. So
Well, yeah, but what would that do? Like, I'm wondering what is the purpose of all this?
when they use that card and then identify with that card with that equipment and the biometric is part of you. So you prove your fingerprint biometric on a fingerprint reader or an eye with an optical reader. So that all checks out, then you have a much higher level of certainty that's who that individual is. And this was after 9/11. They were trying to create an ID that would be secure to identify people so that we weren't as vulnerable as we have been for years. That was the driving force anyway.
And like to continue to go into that, since we're already off the topic, it's like our security, like our sense of security is just kind of, wait, if you don't contribute, what good are you? All right, so I'm gonna get back on topic real quick. I'm gonna see if user social security number can come up, and yes, in fact, they can. User social security number, please come up. I'd like for you to expand on your comment. Hello Tulip, how you doing? Hello Kodiak, how y'all doing? Hey Jessica. Is it first? Not to discredit anything that you're saying, but the topic is about voting. So when people come in and they want to discuss the topic, then I do want to get back on topic. But otherwise, how long have you been on TikTok? We're gonna see if this person's gonna come up. But how long have you been on TikTok, Chief?
Oh, me? I've been on just a couple of months now, 2-3 months.
How do you like it?
I like it. I'm frustrated. I ran my first live about a week or so ago, but I was leaving. I had to go out of town the next day I was going to my hometown for my 50th reunion from high school.
Okay.
And so I come back now and I'm trying to get on live again and I can't. I just keep having problems with the app trying to get on live, or, it's like I get one person up. I don't know if it's because it would come up and say invite in the box, but then I'd invite and they just like disappear. I don't know. I don't get it.
Yeah, TikTok is having a lot of issues lately. We're having another guest box glitch where you'll have like 2 people in the box, and then a third person will join, but you won't be able to see that third person. They'll disappear. But then a 4th person joins, or another person leaves, and then they reappear. They didn't leave the live, but their box disappeared.
Right.
Yeah, we're having a lot of issues.
What's that?
I said we're having a lot of issues.
Yeah. And so that's the only thing. I try to get back on. I'd run a live. I was trying to get into some of the political discussions because we have to do everything we possibly can to prevent 45 from becoming 47. That just can't.
Well, this isn't. Well, when it comes to people voting, I let people have their secure ballot. I'm personally not interested in who anybody's voting in. This is about people voting.
I saw that.
Period. Yeah.
Yep, I got it. But I got in. I like to get in a lot of the political discussions and try to make people aware. I can't. Well, they have to be aware of the character of 45. So anyway, like I say, you don't want to go there. Anyway, thank you for calling me up. I am going to beg off though, and
all right.
I'll follow you though. And I learned something. So I see what you mean that you can have more people at one address or whatever. So I'm going to check around here. I don't know if they have any designated homeless spots that are where people are in there and have IDs or something that can vote. So we're checking.
So it's kind of late for people. Well, you already know this. It's too late to register to vote if you want to vote for the president. But local elections are coming up, so I'm encouraging people to still register to vote, even though they can't vote for this. They still need to vote for their judge, their mayor, so on and so forth. So they still need to register.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
my friend.
Thanks for having me up.
For sure. You take care, Chief.
You too.
I know. That's what's up. And user social security number did not come up. But yeah. That was a good little conversation. That was delightful. And it's like this has been happening, and like in the previous live I actually had a runner, and what I call a runner is somebody who I invite them up and then they turn off their invitation ability. But it's good to have conversations with people, no matter what that looks like. How long was it? Almost almost 30 minutes. We're at 20 minutes now. But I wasn't. I really am not expecting to get anyone, and like somebody even coming up was surprising to me because I am, since I haven't been on live for a while, I am low on the totem pole. The app definitely praises consistency. So, yeah. But I'll try to be live tomorrow and then a lot of this week, and then I move. Hey, wish a Crackerwood. And then I'll be back at one of my previous places, and I'll be live more often through November? Question mark. But September and October were definitely emotionally and mentally heavy months. And I feel emboldened to get on live about this, even though we are past the point where you can register to vote. If you want to vote for the presidential election, you should still register to vote so you can vote. For those of you who have your mayor and whatnot on the off year, you should register to vote. So you will have plenty of time to be processed and all that to vote for your mayor, your governor, your sheriff, all that stuff. Minnesota is on an off year. We're voting for president, judges, and a few local things. And then next year we vote for mayor, governor, etc. I think next year we vote for governor. I'm fairly certain we vote for mayor next year. But yeah, register to vote. For real. Homeless people can vote. There's no limit to how many registered voters can be at an address. You can register to vote at a friend or family address, or at a shelter or day center that receives mail. For states like Colorado, with mail-in ballot only, making sure you're registered to vote at a place that receives mail is crucial. And I don't know how things are now, but when I was in Colorado Springs, there were plenty of places that receive mail. So I don't know what it's like now though. But we dropped down to 2 people, so I'm gonna go ahead and call it. But thanks to everybody who came in.